Um, yeah, I think there is invitation from, I will talk in Balkans name, but I think might be in general East and especially Slavic countries. A lot of people would go to India,
Yeah.
but not many would go to, I don't know, Serbia or to, and yet spirituality is so rich there too. And, as we talked
Ah,
before. So yeah, I think Balkan area, it's inviting, it's culture and da da da. As a rose, we when we talk privately, we talk about rose a lot. The rose, it's opening and its petals is just, you know, its invitation to come and learn something about us. Because we, in a way, we
yes.
are indigenous too. Slavic, in our
Mm-hmm.
language, Slaviti means celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Life as celebration is, something, not party, loud party sometimes, maybe when you desire to, but it's like, honoring that sense of holiness. That's what I feel.
Yes.
Of That's something that you can't explain.
Yeah.
That's something in life, within life, everyday life, that and it's extra meaning, and you know what I mean. Anyway,
I
um, blah blah. I lost my track
while
again.
I while talking about that, like how the transmission of the energies are more than just the words. It's so interesting because the light behind you may have been like this the entire time. I don't know. But while you were talking about that, the sort of the the transmission and the holiness of that area that's to me it was like you were transmitting something while you were saying that, like almost to the point where you were like, oh, I don't know what I'm saying, because it was like coming like so through your own sacred center. And behind you, like for the people that are watching, did you see it? Like the light behind her was just like she became like a saint of the Balkan area or something, which is something that I know it's something that I also saw in those. I have so many goosebumps. I also saw in those readings that you were like a fractal of the energy of that earth, where you
Yeah.
really carried codes of that. And in that moment with that light, the way it came through while you were talking, like, and the way you were kind of, because I do that sometimes in readings, like where I'm channeling something and it's coming from such a deep place in me that I'm like, I don't know if I'm making any sense. And then I like go back and I listen to it and I'm like, no, you were like totally channeling. And so that was one of those moments where you were like, because I was getting transmissions. I was like getting the codes of that area where I could feel. And again, it comes back to that feeling of like where it was preserved, almost like it wasn't time yet. Like no, like the mystery schools where like the wisdom had to be hidden so that it wasn't like harmed or something. And the fact that it's like coming, it feels like it's coming out now where there is this invitation to this area, like almost like the area is like, hey, I want to show you something. And you as like an ambassador of those codes, and like you and I and like Jane and other people connecting.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just so exciting. Like
Yes. And
I got
Dr.
so lit up.
Sam and so many other people, the people that we will
Yeah.
hope also here. And it's just like one big, beautiful net coming together. It's just that
Yeah.
we are on the same level now, same net, same kind of.
Yes.
It was mishmash. It was here and there, and now we just like coming closer and closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's that. It's like the scales have balance. And then you were saying celebration, and that's what that light behind you, and that like in grandma's kitchen, and like all like when you were talking about the rooster, and just like life is good, and like everything feels like sacred and holy, and like that was the energy I was getting. It would be like Four of Wands energy, where it's like everything comes together and there's celebration and good. It's the new earth energy. Wow.
Now
That was powerful.
you remind me where I was going with it. Just one important sequence to tell to understand the flip. So the celebration, Slaviti means celebration, but what the Western world turned it into, slaves. If you go Wikipedia, you will see Slavic slaves. It come you see,
Wow.
that's the that's the flip. Turn the
Yeah.
flip upside down. And that's what
Yes.
our culture is. It's turned, there tries to turn it upside down, but there is something within us that would just not. You can see sometimes, I'm in Australia, you can sometimes see that in Aboriginal people. The hurt they went through, But when they look at you, you are their white person. You're not. I'm not guilty of anything. I've done nothing wrong. I respect them. But I present for them trauma, and I'm white, right? When they look at you, there is that pride. That's something. You're right. You can get to that, but this is the place. You can't hurt this. This is my culture. This is my roots. This is my land. You can't. You can do whatever. And Balkans people, we have a lot of that. We have word. Even I talked to you about the tennis player Novak Djokovic. That's extra story. What's happening in there, in a world scale, for some other time. But he was searching for. We have a word for that in our language, and I was searching to translate it to English recently. And recently, I heard him try to do same thing. It's something. It's that. No, but you can't even explain, and that's what we have. Okay, you can come to here, but not further. And I will look into your eyes, like straightforward, and because I know what I'm protecting is good.
Yeah, protecting.
It's life itself. And up to here you can play, but no, not a step further. And that's what we have. And that's what indigenous cultures have. And I see that in Australians. They're not. Sometimes they explain because easy life and they're just surfing and they're just like, no, there is something in those beard Australian men, like old style, outdoor, they go fishing, they go four-wheel, they got that too. Still there. And also lots of Western men and women, and when it's enough, something like that. And this is where we need to set that boundary. It's set already. We just need to recognize it. It's there. We're not doing something. It's there. And when it's that, this is it. All right. Now we turn around and we go other way now. Just go away or whatever. Do your thing. Universe is big. Do your thing wherever you want, but not in my backyard. And I think that's what's happening at the moment, and that's important. So the rooster is just, as I'm talking, he's just onto it like
it's just he likes conversation. But the template that the traditional cultures, like you were saying that you guys have, and the Australians and the Aboriginals, it's like now in this world where we're waking up to the inverse, we're waking up to the satanic realm, that everything's flipped. It's like everybody is being invited, and I mean, it's a necessity at some point in everyone's journey to hold that sovereignty, to hold that you cannot take my soul, you cannot take my connection.
That's your sovereignty.
Because sometimes I think, this is kind of a random thought, but I think about homeless people and how homeless people hold an important energetic frequency in the culture and in the city and in the town. They have their place because they're so outside of so much of the conditioning. They're not playing any of the games, they're just kind of off on their own, or like the sadhus in India, but it's like that was a little bit of a tangent, but I am kind of making a point where it's like the people that have lived throughout their history and their culture, holding that sovereignty, holding that as a frequency, right? So there's a fractal of it, whereas other people are needing to embody that themselves. It's already existing, that we can tap into etherically. We can tap into that, and is that making sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What I would like to point out, as we are mentioning old cultures, recently I came across the book of Dr. Sam, which has to do with New Mexico land, where you are living. It was just one of those things, again, synchronicities, and I had trouble to read whole book recently, so I did not read whole book for a really long time. You go passages and you go kind of crisscross, but not really sit and all of it. But this one I just have to. And it talks about old people of your area. And it's embedded in that culture too. That's very same thing. And it's so amazing how you are on the other side of the world. And it's just it just connects. It so easily connects now. And as I was reading that book, and he explains he was traveling in your area, I don't know, for a week or something, and he was visiting sacred sites, and and I just felt I was there, and through that I connected with you and Jane more. It was just I just came to that closer to you, even though I'm in Australia, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got to know Land through his pictures and the way he, I got to come to visit you on some different level. That makes
sense. Oh, it makes so much sense, because isn't that true? It's like, again, it's like where we're called to be, we're kind of like a match in frequency to the area and to the land, and somehow there's some configuration between us and where we are. So it's like, in a sense, we are this land, and especially Jane and I, because we spend so much time in nature, and it's like it's part of why we're here. And it was the mountains that called the forest that called me in my dreams. I kept dreaming of this forest, and when I came to this area, I was like, oh my gosh, this is where I was seeing in my dreams. So definitely called, but and you with your area. Well, it's interesting with you being in Australia. It's like you have two places. You have two places that you're working with.
Yes.
But yeah, feeling each other through the land, it makes so much sense.
Because I feel for a really long time that great megalith of Uluru is somehow connected with Pyramid of Sun and the other pyramid in Serbia, Ertan. I feel those strong places, they work together. And somehow I found myself in between them. So
what was the one you said? Uluru? Is that what you said?
Yeah. You knew the heart of Australia, they call it, the red rock. Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah. So I feel those places, I feel there is an intelligence behind them. And they opening now and they communicate. And again, communication being so important part of all that is happening. Even invisible telepathic communication with animals, with places, with plants, with trees, with flowers, with other worlds, with fairy worlds, with dolphins. That's part of it. That's how we're gonna live from now on. That's it. It's very simple. That's and places like this, for Pyramid of Sun and Earthen and every pyramid, there were scientific measurements done. It's very obvious they are also communicating machines. And I could talk hours and hours of my experience. I'm with pyramids for 20 years, and especially for past, let's say 7 years, I'm really intensely with them every single day part of my life. And where I am so far away, how does it work? Manifestation, journeying, everything gets amplified there. There was so many experiments done, like the guy would sit on the top of, a group of people would sit on top of Earthen Pyramid, and there would be people in Russia, in Siberia, and they would do, like people would think certain thing on Earthen, and those people, or it was opposite, I can't remember now, but the people on the other side would draw what the other one was thinking of. And just mad. So
amplifier.
Because it amplifies every of our capacity to see, to whatever it is, to whatever your intention is. When you come to pyramid, it would amplify. If it's love, the love will amplify. If it's, and Dr. Sam says Bosnian Pyramid of Sun is the biggest in the world, but they are everywhere in the world. So spots everywhere. New Mexico, California, Tibet, Russia, Africa, wherever, Balkans, and they're just active. They're awakening up. I have all chills now. They're just awakening that net, like an energy just goes now, and ley lines being healed. The other day I was talking with a beautiful lady from Belgrade. She comes from Tesla school, and she is hypnotherapist. So I done therapy with her, and she's saying what they do as a part of group. They have meetings, the group meetings, and they are healing ley lines. They connect. They would have intuitively, they would go to places and there is someone else in my life for a very long time. I'll talk about that. He's doing some kind of earth acupuncture with his sculpturing and his beautiful stuff some other time, long time teacher of mine. So it's just this net, energetic net. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. It's amplifying, and here we are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
that,
what's when I discovered you, I was really, really obsessed with the earth grids and the monoliths and the giant trees. And, I mean, I couldn't get enough. It's just I just devoured it and devoured it. And so, I was watching certain people's channel, like Michelle, I forget her last name, Goodman or something like that. Yeah. And I was noticing like within like 5 months, she had like, I don't know, 10, 20,000 more subscribers, where like the whole world was waking up to this and being called to learn, and myself included, to just understand. And it made me feel so safe on this planet, because I never felt really safe here. I'm not from here. And I just like spent most of the time outside of my body, but it was like, oh, the earth is, there is a natural harmonic that is like home, or that is, here to support us. And just learning about it made me feel okay here. So it's almost like connecting those dots and connecting the remembrance of what is true and how it was before and how it will be again is helping to activate it. Like it's like our consciousness on it. The more people that are awakening and realizing and discovering these things are part of how it's activating, because we're creating it, we're putting our attention on it, and we're saying, yes, I want you back, and it says okay. And the elementals as well. The elemental.
Yes, elementals, absolutely. And one of the things that crossed my mind where you're talking, really important, every single person, the one that desires, not everyone will do that, but the people who cope with help of certain addictions, which have strong coping mechanisms, all the weirdos out there, all who never felt they fit. I'm one of those. That's my life. And slowly, I'm getting more sovereign in what I am, more and more. It's our time now. All those people, they're not big achievers in a way of materialistic, and they, in this old world, it's all about how much you achieve. Just yesterday, I had really funny, I'll tell a little story, funny, really short messaging, chatting with my cousin, who I did not chat to and see for a really long time, but she somehow managed in 2 minutes to tell me all her achievements and how many real estate her children bought, and and I, like, in short, like, and every family gathering they have, and grandchildren, everything. I knew everything in a minute time, and her politic views, which really strong. And God bless her, she's lovely, but
yeah.
And I'm just different. I know that from when I was a child. I never fit into family. I never fit into school. I just stand there and just like, right, what are those all about? And nothing is wrong. Everyone has his own experience, his own passions. That's fine. It's just like it's really time for us to find each other and admit, yes, we're doing stuff different way, and there is a round for us where things function different. There are different laws.
That's right. And we get to experience things differently because we're playing a different game. We're doing a whole different thing. And then all of us being like placed, in separate places around the globe, it's like we couldn't, it wasn't time to meet each other. We had to like go through all our trials and all the purging and the karmic stuff. But now it's like it's just such proof that the balancing really has happened, and that this change really is happening because we're finding each other. And I'm having this feeling, with you and some other women in different places, where I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so much like me. Like, this is so amazing, because it's really healing. And yet I know there's a divine timing to that as well, that shows where we're at. And but it's like the meek shall inherit the earth. That's where we're at right now.
Sorry,
but the meek shall inherit the earth.
What's the meek shall?
Oh, the meek, the meek, the MEEK, the meek shall inherit the earth. So you know, the humble, the ones that don't fit in, the weirdos, you know, like you said,
yeah,
that phrase, that
yeah,
phrase.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think it's yeah, we were looking for a long time. We were searching, but as Rumi beautifully say, what you seek is seeking you. It's also that it's looking for
Yeah.
us. Where are all my
Yeah.
kids? Like,
Yeah.
all right, you play out there a bit or too far from home. Come home now. Let's play in more creative and common sense, more beautiful way. Like I feel that's how it feels for me. So
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
absolutely free will. It's not,
Mhm.
nobody's forcing anyone. There is nobody out there who would force you into anything. It's just like us. Yes, I want to do this. I want to play this way. I want to dance this dance. This is how I want to
Yeah.
live, and that's it. I feel.
It's like a sunrise. You know, it's really natural and really slow. And, you know, I feel like that awakening energy, it can sneak in slowly. You know, for some people, it can sneak in slowly, but then all of a sudden you're standing in the middle of the day and the sun is really bright and everything's illuminated, and it's like this awakening for some people, I think is happening really off the radar. They don't notice it. It's really gentle. And then for some of us, you know, we've kind of been in these energies our whole lives and are now, you know, in the field twirling around like, oh my gosh, it's real. You know, that's like what you were saying in your Rose video, like this is real. You know, it's real because we're starting to really feel it and see it and connect it. And then I think for other people, you know, it's like they're just starting to hear that call. But it definitely feels like whether you came in this way or not, that it's contagious. You know, at this point it's contagious. And even, you know, what you're talking about with the achievements, like I'm seeing people in my life that, you know, maybe got really ahead of the game and they were good in the world, but they were that way through manipulation or taking advantage of people or deception. And I'm watching things just like fall apart for them. It's like that kind of, if what we've built is built in the wrong energy, it can't sustain because the frequency and the energy, the fabric of reality right now is not that anymore. And so everything falling away.
Yeah.
It's really, yeah.
Yeah. One little story it keeps somewhere in my mind. I mentioned tennis player Djokovic earlier. You did not even know
Oh
who
yeah,
it was.
I watched.
It was so funny. I'll tell you about the other day. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's like considered to be best tennis player of all times ever. He's Serbian. He's really traditional. He loves his family. He goes pyramids. One of his homes is on pyramids. He talks structure water like publicly. He would go on press conference, you know, really mainstream environment. He talks our stuff. Um, he's onto it. He is on our side, and he's doing it
Yeah.
in very epicenter of mainstream, and you know all of that. Anyway, but what happened recently in Olympic Games? Maybe you heard about it. It was all over the Facebook, like you know those opening ceremonies, like where they were announcing, like you know back then 2012 they were announcing certain stuff, and now this one was particularly ugly in my opinion because I just don't go along with the aesthetics of it all, and um, and there was that apocalypse horses and rider and I don't know something, you know, now since of la la la. Anyway, but in all of that and mocking of lots of mocking of mocking of, you know, in my opinion, divine beauty in some kind of divine order. But what he did, so he won gold medal and he's wearing a cross, you know, Orthodox cross, which is really beautiful. Now, if we both listen, Michelle, and similar channels, it's considered as antiquitech. It's tech, but it's high. So what he does, whenever he wins or wherever he does, this is Orthodox way of, you know, like this is cross. I do this. I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, he goes up and he looks up and he thanks, and then sometimes he pulls the cross out. You know, in all the scary movies, you know, where the bad guy will come out a cross. Yeah. So in all of that ugly stuff, if you would call it satanic, or you know, the stuff. So he wins, he does that, he kisses the ground, he always takes a little bit of grass and he eats it, and then he runs to his family, he hugs his wife, his daughter, there's father, mother, or his team. He's crying, he's, you know, and
Beautiful.
in midst of everything, this was very important, very powerful for Balkans, I think. In this, all of that intense environment of satanic environment, he goes and he does that, and he wins the goal, and he shows what's the values. So hard work, he worked hard for this. Vision, he always says he visualized. How he does that? He publicly talk, he visualized stuff. He does meditation, he drinks structured water from pyramids, he goes pyramids, he goes megaliths. My friend, personal friend, she lives under other pyramid, Ertan, and they have little hotel there, so he was visiting, and she personally took him to megalith. Personally, she said he puts his hands on megaliths, he talks visions. I'm not sure if I could say this publicly, but not that many people. So, and he just, and then family and love and gratitude and living the right way and faith in God, in good. And that's what he presents in all of that chaos and all that falling apart environment, you know. And he represents, I think, this very happening represented what's happening in greater scale. He showed it on TV in front of millions and millions, and I don't know, 10,000 or billions of people watching it. You know, this is those billions and billions of views. And there was a shift. There is something that it's out of control of them. They can't control that. They can't control what he's wearing. You know, he was the one that did not take, you know, the thing, and then he was banned. He's the one. Yes.
That was him. Okay, so I have heard of him for that reason.
Yes.
Well, and it's like Structured Water, where there he was amidst all that satanic distortion, and yet the higher frequency trumps. So he like infiltrated the whole. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
that's so powerful. Yes, and like divine appointed, it feels like, to play that role. Yeah. You know, in the midst. So it's like no matter, it's again like everything is ultimately turns into light, because that's just what's real. There's always going to be something placed to transmute, and you know, it's like we've already won.
Yes, and that's it, and that's a win, you know, because it can't be other way. It's on TV, it's publicly for those who see, you know. It's for me, I'm thinking that he's always pulling out his cross, and you know, he puts so much love. He speaks a lot about in our language. There's a lot out there. There's very limited in English, but a lot. He's much more heartfelt in our language because he feels safer, I think. And and I'm thinking now, okay, we're saying this is tech. You know, how is it tech? We are tech also. My friend recently, the painter who studied Da Vinci a lot, she said Da Vinci painting. She's a painter, so Da Vinci artist. Yeah. So, and she said, humans, this body, humans, we are best possible tech. There is we don't need to worry about, you know, IE, whatever it is, because we are they never, ever can catch up us, because this is the most perfect divine creation. And I'm thinking then, all right, what's he doing? He's taking his cross out, he's looking up, which is source, which is ether, which is Akashi, which is, you know, God, name it, life source, whatever. And he feels it with his faith from the heart and his love. And it's sitting here where the soul is. When he plays, it works as it fills him. You know, it fills him up with soul. It's connector in between soul and source. It fills up with energy so he can do all those challenges.
Yeah. And It's like anchoring. Well, and that kind of reminds me of this type of thing that we were talking about, where that's his ritual. That's the way he's anchoring that energy and bringing it into his energetic field and carrying through. And that's his ritual that lines up the energy. And I think you had mentioned one of the times we were talking, like how you connect with the or like hand movements that you do, and you were like, oh, we all have our
Yes.
ways of the little witchy things that we do to like conjure and connect and bring things forward, and how powerful that is. Yeah. And
And
the freedom to,
understanding that it's us. We are that also. That tech,
yes.
not tech, it's not technology, it's not machine, but we are equipped with really, I think that's something. And
Yeah.
all of that, well, back to your readings, like I had that, those things are in my journeys, in my writing, in my mind, in my soul, in my being. But really, the readings with you, stuff I done with you, and also the hypnotherapy that I was saying about with lady that I did, really helped me that I can talk about this confidently now. It's I can't. There are moments you feel lost. I think it's really, we need to reach out for help. And while you reach out for help, you happen so you find your soul sisters, soul brothers, your tribe,
Yes.
because you reach
And then
out to ask. So
that's right. And then it heals us because we see our reflection, and we build what we are because we're matched, and it's so beautiful.
yeah. And again and again I start today. It's early in the morning, and I'm not really good morning person. And it's still all new this, and I start awkward and da da da. But a minute you pull your card out, like, and you talked, and I just felt like, whoa, yay, there it is. It's don't think, is my English good enough? How hello, all of that is, all those things. Those the people see me, understand me, and da da da. And am I accurate in questions? And is this happening? The minute you pull it out and you say it's all gone, it's here we are. So I can't. I warmly recommend anyone with moment in life where maybe you need a bit of support and clear a picture, direction. I think what we're doing on New Earth, the channeling and the tarot and cards, is just part of life. Like we do it, like it's the way we communicate.
Yeah, pictures.
Always was like that.
Yeah, yep. I used to feel like, oh, I shouldn't ask the cards. Like I felt like guilty, or like I don't know what it was. It was some block, or even like asking for for help, or like praying, or I had some block about it, where I think at one point this was a while, many years ago, but I expressed to a friend something about that. I expressed like some uncomfortability with asking so much for like advice or guidance, and she's like, that's what these tools are here for. That's what all of the support is here for. And what is that conditioning that makes you feel that like you shouldn't ask? It's part of that program where we can ask a doctor, we can ask a Google search, but we can't seek into our own intuition through pictures and symbols. And so it's wonderful to like take those self judgments and those fears and all that conditioning, and it just seems like it's all falling away now. Thank God.
It's just through nature. With your, obviously, one of your talents and who you are within, it's here, right? It's again and again, it comes in my mind, or also in my little decks when the seer pops up. So that's you. I have different role, but you is seer, the one that sees. And the seers and the healing men and women, medicine men and women, that was always part of. In Serbia, still you can find in villages there are ladies that know stuff, especially in areas around Ertan where we are. Also in Bosnia, everybody knows. There are men and women that simply know, and it's part of us. It's like breathing. It's like we need lungs for breathing. This is what because this communication, there is something sacred about it, and that's the point. It's not about deck of cards. It's not that much about story. It's about sacredness and connection through it. If I come to you to ask you for support, for help, for reading, I open my heart to you. I need to be honest with you so you can do adequate reading. And this is something, and this connection it's all there. I think it's the play around it and that story. It's always, that's creation. We need stories, and we need some kind of staging. I think once you talked about it, staging and happening, but it's sistership, it's friendship, it's this. That's what it is.
Yes. And portals through the heart, portals to that invisible world, and portals to communicating and connecting beyond, and then finding them wherever they're fun, wherever they're fun. For me, I like pictures, I like color, I like cards, I like variety. For somebody else, it might be something else, whatever it is, but connecting, like making that effort to connect behind and beyond, and getting the codes and unpacking and seeing the information that's just like waiting for us to tap into it. And doing that in collaboration, where two or more gather, it's like the whole field opens up between two hearts open to each other. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
So I had to mention, we are doing next door to Balkans and to pyramids and all. The previous tour we called Bosnian Pyramids and Mysteries of Balkans. For some reasons, I turned it, because I saw in New York you need to be very specific with your words.
Yeah.
So we turn it now into the Sacred Balkans, because I think that's what's next level revealing. But what I want to say, you'll come with us. There is a big chance we get this through, right? Which I think we will. You'll come with us, and people will have possibility to see you, to meet you. We will do group readings. You will do personal readings if you desire. So lots of fun ahead. And I'm the first tour came with challenges, and so will the next one. But I think because we learned so much, and as you said, one of the readings, the frequency is simply changing. And you talked about that like maybe 3 weeks ago. I think it changed. You said the starting point will be different for all of us in next one. And I think this is what actually happened. That's why I say you're so accurate in your things, what you're saying. So so people will be able to meet you there. But where can people find you? You are doing online readings and online sessions. Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I do online, FaceTime like this, if and then I read in town here as well. But I have a small YouTube channel. It's called Lineage of the Blue Rose Tarot, and it's small, and I don't know how to play the YouTube algorithm game, so it doesn't get spread around a lot. But I do collective readings that I post on there just for people to get a feel for how I read, and I'm always interested in finding parallels and finding themes and finding the collective energies. And so I talk about that. I also post on Facebook. My name is Wendy Biondo. So that's where I connect with a lot of people. I have a lot of soul brothers and sisters, and we communicate and support each other in that way. So it's just a platform that really works for me. And I share videos on there, but people can contact me through Facebook, Wendy Biondo, Biondo, or Lineage of the Blue Rose Tarot. Could contact me through there. Yep.
Yeah. So we will put links underneath so people can contact and find you. And if you will desire, of course, I feel like we would definitely repeat this and maybe go next time. This was more like introduction. Maybe to once in a while to do like general reading for like circumstance in the moment we are reading. I think that would be really interesting. Also the support, and I feel this needs to become habit, like good habit, like breathing, like eating well, like it's nourishing your mind. So I feel I'll do it regularly, my private sessions with you, maybe once a month or something like that, just to align. Because even if you know stuff, it means so much when you get confirmation from someone else who do not know exactly your situation, who don't, it's very different if my partner tell me things, who knows, and also he would like to please me because he's, sometimes, and then I don't know if he's objective or subjective, but with someone who does not live with you in the same house every single day, it's different, and this is where you have some objectivity, and that's what I feel you really are about. You really are objective in stuff. So yeah, again, warmly recommended.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
um so is there any thoughts, anything left that you would like to share before it was quite a talk, I think. um
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of things, and it's getting kind of dark here now.
yeah,
Dark where I'm at. So I feel like my energy is starting to
yeah,
kind of coast.
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Time to go
Yeah.
to rest, to
And you'll
drink,
start
to
your
fly.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any wrap up to end on?
No, that's it for me. I think that's it for today.
Okay. Yeah.
Next time we talk again.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the kinship and for inviting me to talk, and just we just jumped off the cliff together and merged and created, and that's how it should be. And it just feels really
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you really for coming, for trust. And as I said, this is really a beginner stage of beginner part of what we are doing here. And then, it means a lot where even people know there's not going to be thousands of views and people still come. It's beautiful. And I feel this is just very center, just very beginning of the rose that we always talk about. Like the rose starts in the center and then it just grows and opens Zada. And we are just part of it. Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay.
Have a good
All
night
right.
and talk to
Mhm.
you soon.
Okay. All right. Much love.
Do you do? Bye.
Bye.